boys, in today's video we are going to be reviewing the Turkey Town. Now, if you haven't noticed, Talanfrick, aka the owner of Total Tower Defense, actually has a YouTube channel and he does post videos on there. And he recently posted 2 videos about nerfing Turkey Town because it was way too hard. Like, he said it was harder than Pumpkin Patch and Graveyard, and that was especially hard, so I can imagine what Turkey Town would be if it wasn't nerfed. But we're just going to go over the nerfs here. You know, talk about it throughout the playthrough. And one thing, I tried Mech, upgraded Titan Caraman, Jetpack Speaker Man with the Pumpkin Farm, and I also had this dude. So the upgrade Titan Caraman, the Jetpack Speaker Man, Mech, Pumpkin Farm, and the Turkey Caraman can actually do Turkey Town if you play it correctly. Because I was just testing out a few loadouts, but I'm using this loadout right here, and we're just gonna go into Turkey Town, boys. Alright, so as you may see, usually when you play normal games, you start out with $200. But as you can see, you end up with $300, you know? So actually, they made it so you get $100 easier, so I can just skip the first wave and I can already get my chef, you know? Instead of having to wait 2 waves, you know? So this helps a lot if you have a more expensive unit. I know the new legendary costs $400, and with this you only have to skip once to get that, so with the chef and many other units. So this nerf actually helps you get a lot of the units way faster in the early game and can really provide a helpful buff actually. It may not seem too much, just $100, but it could give you a massive buff here and there. As you can see, chef is currently melting. Now, I would have to skip until the large toilet till I could actually get the chef, but now I got it a wave early, and now I literally just destroyed him. So this buff actually provides like a reasonable reason to actually get like expensive units for the early game, because you know you get $100 more. It's way helpful in having many other loadouts. I'm just gonna skip here so I can get my chef upgraded. Alright, there we go. Now, another thing I want to mention is that there's free spawns, but they emerge right here, so free spawns isn't that difficult. They emerge like very quickly on. The thing about the other event maps is they emerge like probably around here if it was the same thing for Turkey Town. But they merge pretty quickly on, so I would recommend getting probably like AO units around here because it could get all the paths, you know, and it could possibly reach over here. And if you're using the loadout that I mentioned in the intro with the upgrade Titan Caraman, here would be a very good spot because it's AoE. Could probably reach like all around here. That could slow and do a ton of damage. So if you have any AO units in your loadout, I would recommend putting them like somewhere here, you know, like here, maybe right here. Those are just some of the spots that it would be very good for an AO unit to hold their position. For the second nerf on Turkey Town, which a lot of you guys probably noticed if you've played it before the nerf. Now, before the nerf, as you can see, it goes from here, and then it goes on this super long path. You know, it goes up here, then it goes all the way down here. But it was never like that when it was originally put into the map. It will go from right here up to here and probably merge like over here. So they added a super long track, and that can be very helpful if you have long range units like the Mech, upgrade Titan Caraman, the new Godly even. So this made the track like 15% bigger, I think he said in the video. So this is really helpful, especially if you have long units, because it will go like right here and then immediately go to the end. But they made it so they have a super long track, because this map was very difficult, you know? Especially if the glitch or airplane or the rocket came, it would just zoom through the map entirely. But with this, it takes around like 5 more seconds to get to the end, which can pose a large amount of damage, especially for the glitch to it, because it's an end game and you'll probably have a lot of damage by then. So this track got improved pretty good. Like, it was very hard before all the nerfs, because they would just go up here, boom, and then they would just zoom over here, and you would barely have any time to defend, you know? Like, it would happen so quick that it would struggle to get a lot of damage in because it would just go away from you and so quick. Alright, we got this large troll here. He's dead. I'm also playing while mentioning the nerfs, just if you guys were wondering here. Currently, Chef, I think, may be like one of the best units to bring to this. Now, not a lot of people have Chef. Well, actually like 6,000 do, but a lot of people wouldn't really have this. But if you do have this, I would recommend taking it, especially the upgrade Titan Caraman. That is a very good unit since it has AoE slowing, very good range that covers like so much of the track. So those are some recommended units. You know, Engineer would maybe be the best option because it could get any turret. It stacks up a lot when it gets to the front because of the new track upgrade. Yeah, I just mentioned a few recommended units. They are pretty hard to get, but if you have them, they would like change this whole map. It would make it pretty easy, you know. Now for our third nerf. Now I think there's like 4 to 5 nerf in this. I think there's 5 if I remember correctly. But as you guys may know, if you played Nightmare before, you would be like, why am I not getting as much money from like, for example, medium? That's because each mode actually has different money like givens, you know, like easy has like 2 times money, medium has like 1.5 times money, hard has 1 times, and nightmare actually has 0.05% money you earn. So in this, they actually made it so you get 25% more money from nightmare. So that means you're getting the normal amount of money instead of like the nightmare setting. You know, like if you killed a normal toy, it will give you like $8, but on this, it would usually give you 5, for example. But they made it so you have the normal money earnings of hard, which actually makes it super easy to get your farm and scientists up, you know, because 25% more money, that's pretty generous there, you know. You can easily get your pumpkin farms or scientists up with that, and then you'll just have so much money on early game that it'll be pretty easy just to glide through the early waves, you know? Because you have so much money. Like, usually it would take me maybe like 15 waves to get this level 4, but I got in like... So 25% more money, that is very good. Yeah, the boss literally just got melted there. The dual blade will probably have the same outcome. I could probably skip even. Because Chef has so much AoE, it won't even matter. Anyways, I'm going to get an engineer just to show you like how powerful it is on the map, you know. A lot of people won't have engineer, but if you have it, this is probably a must if you want to win. You know, as you can see, they're going to stack up for a pretty long time. It'll probably take them like maybe a minute and a half to get like to here. And that'll give them a lot of time to spawn. Probably up to like 6 camera rovers, as you saw. You're just going to upgrade them though. Yeah, there's 1 of them, there's 2, there's 3, and then there's 4. So when they got to here, there was already 4 units, and probably when they get to like right here, there's probably going to be like 10 maybe 12, I would assume. So Chef is very good because you can see like this path right here. He has a ton of AoE, very good DPS, I will admit. And is pretty cheap with the 25% more money. So as you can see, Chef's got the AoE, he's got the damage, and engineer is probably just for backup right now, honestly. As you can see, he's literally melting through a vacuum, and he's only at level 4. He can go level 6, and he'll get like twice the damage. This is only like half of his true power right here. And he just annihilated like a boss and vacuum. He'll probably annihilate like everything. Alright, they're getting a bit far, you know, but that won't matter since, you know, we still got our engineers, and we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have about like 8 units when they got to here, so when they get to here, it'll probably be like 12. Now for our last and final nerf, they have made it so every wave has 20% lesser enemies. Now what that means, like on hard, for example, wave 50, they could have like 100 turrets. But on this, if this was hard, they would only have 80. So that in theory makes waves like super easy. Like you can maybe have 5 vacuums, now there's 3. You know, maybe there's like a scientist to it, now there's like a scientist to it, but like less bosses, you know? So having 20% less enemies is very good. That probably makes up for the money nerf, you know, like 25% more money. from enemies, but you also have 20% less. I think that's pretty fair, honestly. So you don't actually have to struggle as much, you know. I remember on this way there used to be like, I think 4 bosses, now there's only 2, and there used to be 2 Ragas, but now there's only 1, so yeah, they definitely made it a lot easier. I'll just say that. This is actually farmable now. If you go onto YouTube, you could probably see strats for like 20-minute games, you know. Nightmare would probably take up to like 30, but for like 1,000 coins, but on this you would almost get 2,000. So this is actually a very good money making effort. This might be the best if you actually have the correct loadout and is super good at the strat. I've seen somebody do this in like 15 minutes. So this is definitely farmable. This is a good money strat. Now it may take a long time to actually get a lot of coins, so just be aware of that. But with all the nerfs in mind, they made this mode like probably 50 to 60% easier. Like the Tlanfrick in the video that I posted, he said he made it like 60% easier altogether with the track, the less enemies, more money. So all in all, Turkey Town, they definitely made this a lot easier. You could definitely farm this. Like I went down to the badges, and if you actually beat Turkey Town, you get a badge. Before they made the nerfs, only like 10,000 people beat it. But now, after the nerfs, over like 60,000 have beat it. So this will definitely open an opportunity for many players. And I recommend trying this, you know. It did make it easier. It's probably not even harder than Nightmare now. It's probably like hard, but with like double the money. So I would grind this while you can, you know, maybe get a lot of turkey crates, a lot of coins. I don't think there is a limit to crates actually. This mode does take a little bit of time, but always getting a crate, that is pretty good. As you can see, airplane's going. Now, if they did make the track, he would already be like over here, but now he's only over there and he's already dead. If he got to here, before the nerfs, he would probably been like right here, and he could just gone straight over there. So this track nerf and every fan of mine is just incredible. But that's going to be the end of the video today, boys. I reviewed all the nerfs, all the lucky stuff that they granted us. So I don't think this mode is even harder than Nightmare. I think this is less hard than Nightmare, because 25% more money and 20% less units, that's pretty generous, you know. So I don't think this is really hard anymore. I think you guys should try it if you haven't. But that's going to be the end of the video, boys. See ya.